His Royal Highness the Prime Minister, Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, received at Gudaibiya Palace today Speaker of the Representatives Council, Ahmed Al Mullah, Shura Council Speaker, Ali Al Saleh, along with a number of MPs and state officials in the presence of the former Representative Speaker Khalifa Al Dahrani. The audience expressed the legislative authorities' support to all measures taken by the government to correct political work and redirect it to serve the nation, in addition to put an end to the attempts of some individuals and institutions to take advantage of freedom and democracy to harm Bahrain and threaten its security and stability. His Royal Highness the Prime Minister confirmed that Bahrain will always be an oasis of security and stability, stressing that all necessary measures to preserve it would be taken so as to provide the encouraging environment of assurance to the people. He noted Bahrain, with the unity and cohesion of its people, is able to maintain its security and stability and overcome attempts at spreading violence, terrorism and sabotage. He expressed satisfaction in the developing relations between the executive and legislative authorities, which reflect the shared desire to reinforce constructive cooperation that would upgrade the democratic process of the kingdom and contribute in meeting the aspirations of the people. The Prime Minister commended the national stances of the loyal people of Bahrain, who support protecting the security and stability of the nation and preserving its unity and cohesion in all circumstances. He expressed confidence in Bahrain's ability to overcome all challenges aimed at hindering national development efforts, stressing that the main pillars of the nation are the unity of the people and the advanced system of legislation and laws. His Royal Highness also commended the supportive national stance of the press to the procedures the country has taken, which embodies the loyalty of journalists and media personnel. His Royal Highness the Prime Minister, Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, chaired the weekly cabinet meeting today at Gudaibiya Palace. His Royal Highness affirmed the government's continuous efforts regarding maintaining security and stability, as well as protecting the political field from any exploitation of adopting concept of sectarianism, violence and incitement. His Royal Highness stressed the government's firm stance against any attempts that would negatively affect the kingdom, adding that the government would take all the necessary steps in order to preserve Bahrain's security and stability. The Cabinet expressed its thanks to GCC countries for their supportive stance to the kingdom regarding preserving its security and stability, and its support to all judicial procedures against sectarian organisations. The Cabinet also hailed the support of Bahraini citizens to all efforts aimed at maintaining the kingdom's security and stability. The Minister of Interior, the Foreign Minister, the Minister of Justice, Islamic Affairs and Endowments, and the Labour and Social Development Minister briefed the other ministers on procedures taken in collaboration with governmental bodies regarding corrective actions. His Royal Highness the Prime Minister then affirmed the importance of accelerating efforts regarding implementing the development projects in Muharraq province. He also followed up on the steps taken by the government regarding facilitating the work of saviour transactions in ministries and government bodies. His Royal Highness the Prime Minister directed to provide citizens with the best health services and to intensify programmes that aim to provide treatment for patients with critical situations. A number of topics were discussed during the meeting. The Cabinet approved the launching of a new sports magazine by the Minister of Information Affairs so as to implement the recommendations of the Ministerial Committee for Social Services, Telecommunication and Media. The Cabinet approved a new housing system which contributes in preserving infrastructure to old villages. The Cabinet approved allocating 4 properties by the Minister of Works, Municipality Affairs and Urban Planning for public interest. The Cabinet also followed up on the preparations of the Electricity and Water Authority regarding increasing demand of water and electricity during the summer. The Cabinet discussed amending some law provisions of Law 21 for the year 2001. The Cabinet then discussed a number of suggestions of the Legislative Authority. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander and First Deputy Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa yesterday evening visited the Majlis of His Highness Sheikh Ibrahim bin Hamad Al Khalifa and the Majlises of the Al Fadla, Al Rumehi and Al Qabi families. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince highlighted the importance of investing in Bahrain's citizens to help confront and address future economic challenges, saying Bahrain's citizens are the wealth of the nation and the backbone of the kingdom's further development. He noted the kingdom's commitment to investing in its citizens is demonstrated by its recent enactment of 31 new laws supported by His Majesty the King, which not only enhance Bahrain's economic environment and regulatory frameworks, but also support human development and improve public services and citizens' living standards. He said during the next phase of Bahrain's economic development, the public sector's role will focus on regulating and supporting the kingdom's development, and that the private sector will be the main driver of the economy. He said this would create high-value opportunities, support the kingdom's development and further improve standards of living for citizens. His Royal Highness stressed the vital role of the private sector in assisting the economy's transition from an oil-based economy to a diversified economy dependent on productivity. He said the private sector is and will always be a major partner and key driver of the kingdom's sustainable economic development goals. The Majlis's hosts and guests expressed their gratitude for the Crown Prince's visit and praised his commitment and support to further development of Bahrain and its citizens. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander and First Deputy Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa held a telephone call with the chairman of the Commission Internationale de Karting and President of the Bahrain Motor Federation, Sheikh Abdullah bin Isa Al Khalifa, to congratulate the Bahraini F1 delegation, which consisted of 250 individuals, on their contribution to the organisation of the brand new Formula One Grand Prix of Europe in Azerbaijan's capital, Baku. His Royal Highness the Crown Prince said that for over 12 years, Bahrainis have delivered a spectacular F1 event in the kingdom, which has rapidly become one of the region's biggest sporting occasions. He highlighted the significant contribution that Bahrain's youth play in showcasing the kingdom's reputation for developing motorsports. His Royal Highness added Bahrain takes great pride in contributing to the organisation and management of F1 races across the world, and that Baku's F1 Grand Prix of Europe marks the third time a Bahraini F1 delegation has contributed to an international F1 event. His Royal Highness also thanked Sheikh Abdullah and asked him to convey his greetings to them. For his part, Sheikh Abdullah bin Isa Al Khalifa expressed his gratitude for the Crown Prince's ongoing support to the kingdom's F1 organisers and highlighted that the Crown Prince's commitment to developing F1 organisers provides skills development and opportunity for young Bahrainis. Chairman of the Commission Internationale de Karting, the CIK, and President of Bahrain Motor Federation, Sheikh Abdullah bin Isa Al Khalifa, congratulated the wise leadership on the success of the Bahraini F1 delegation to organise the brand new Formula One Grand Prix of Europe in Azerbaijan's capital, Baku. Sheikh Abdullah bin Isa asserted that this Bahraini achievement was the fruit of the constant support of His Majesty the King to the motorsports in the kingdom, adding that the achievement also paves the way for embracing the Bahraini youth talents that have attracted attention through their successes at local and international levels. He noted the follow-up of His Royal Highness the Crown Prince to the Bahraini delegation's efforts and His Royal Highness's encouragement to the Bahraini youth in the management and organisation of motorsports races. He also lauded the Bahraini delegation's dedicated efforts and achievements, which are promising steps towards boosting Bahrain's international standard in the field of F1 sports. He extended gratitude to the Bahraini Motorsports Marshall Club for their contribution to raising youth awareness on the organisation of motorsport races and providing them with the opportunity to get involved in executive and technical aspects related to motorsports races.
The success of the Bahraini delegation in organizing the brand new Formula One Grand Prix of Europe in Azerbaijan capital Baku confirms the efficiency and confidence in Bahraini competency. Bahrain won the bid to organize the race after fierce competition with Britain, Australia, the UAE, Russia, India, and Hungary. The kingdom was granted the honor following its success in organizing the debut F1 race in India in 2011, the UAE F1 race in 2009, and a number of other key races and events, as well as pioneering reputation and expertise being the home of motorsport in the Middle East.
My deepest thanks to all the team coming from Bahrain. 1 year, the team between Bahrain and Azerbaijan, and without that support, I can say we cannot achieve that really very great result, because today, after the first day of the Grand Prix, after the third day with the test events, we can see that the job done on the excellent and very high way. We actually not have any problem, and again I want to say thank you very much for the people involved, for the people who supported us.
Taking place in the city centre and the Caspian seashore, the 6,007-kilometre track has 20 corners and 51 laps and will be during the day. Bahraini teamwork spirit was their key to success. Their work was commended by FIA and Formula One officials, as well as Azerbaijan race officials, who expressed pleasure for the tremendous efforts Bahrain's delegation has exerted during the period of training and qualification since selecting the kingdom for the task.
Why Bahrain? I guess we're very similar. Honestly, when I first visited the race, apart from the fact that there is a very, very professional team in Bahrain organizing the race, in charge of all of the heads, and Sheikh Salman and Faiz and Sheikh Abdullah and everyone who's in charge. It is also a very, very similar culture. It's a friendly culture. It does feel like we're all the same nation, and people understand each other with just one word. You don't have to explain why this is this and why it's that. So I think it was a great choice, to be honest. I mean, for both of us, it was very luckily Bahrain was eager to work with us as much as we were eager to work with the Bahraini Motorsport Federation and the international circuit.
The 250-member delegation of various specialties not only proved the Kingdom of Bahrain's skills, but also proved that Bahrain is a pioneer in the field of motorsport organization and management. Yesterday, Bahrainis once again asserted the capability of holding and managing major international events, with organizing the inaugural Formula One Grand Prix of Europe for 500 million viewers to watch.
And on the same issue, we are now joined by General Manager of the Bahrain Motor Federation, Mr. Abdulaziz Al-Thawadi, who was Deputy Clerk of the course for the European GP Formula One and Clerk of the course for GP2. Good evening, Mr. Al-Thawadi. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening and Ramadan Kareem.
Can you tell us more about Bahrain's delegation's trip to Azerbaijan?
Yes, first of all, I would like to congratulate His Majesty the King of Bahrain, King Hamad bin Salman bin Isa Al Khalifa, and the Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Khalifa bin Salman Al Khalifa, and the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, and the First Deputy Prime Minister. Actually, it all started last year in our Grand Prix, when we had delegates from Baku visited us. They were impressed with the quality of our marshals and the country hospitality, which has always been like this in Bahrain. After that, actually, we started negotiating with them and signed a contract with them for 2 years. After that, we started having the initial visits to start planning for the European Grand Prix. With that, we have created groups and teams to start the training program, to train the Baku marshals to get ready for the European Grand Prix. As you know, Bahrain, being the Bahrain Motor Federation, being certified to be a training center by the Federal International Automobile, the FIA, as a medical training, which is actually the second in the world after Germany, as well as being the center of training for marshalling, which is the 10th overall in the world. That gave us actually a credit and the opportunity to be part of training Baku marshals for their Grand Prix. All teams that were involved in the race has been categorized, and we have created those teams to train all these teams, which are the logistic teams, fire, medical, recovery, trackside, scrutineering, pit and grid, as well as race control. That took us around 6 months till the weekend of the Grand Prix. We have done more than a visit to Baku doing a training, as well as they came to Bahrain during our Grand Prix and the WEC World Championship. During the weekend, during the race actually this week, we had around 250 marshals representing Bahrain Motor Federation were enrolled in all the teams. We had the total number of the marshals were 1,300. That's including all the teams, Baku and Bahrain.
Mr. Al-Thawadi, I'm sorry, we're going to have to interrupt you there. We're running short on time, but we just want to really congratulate you on the successful trip and thank you again for joining us. First Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, His Highness Sheikh Khalid bin Hamad Al Khalifa, expressed pleasure in the qualification of runner Hajar Al Amiri for the Rio 2016 Olympics. 34 runners have qualified so far, which reflects the growing development of Bahraini athletics, in line with the support of the wise leadership and His Majesty the King's representative for Charity Work and Youth Affairs, Chairman of the Supreme Council for Youth and Sports, President of the Bahrain Olympics Committee, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa. His Highness Sheikh Khalid commended the performance of Al Amiri in Bulgaria by winning first place, proving her skills and determination. Secretary General of the Arab League, Dr. Nabil Al-Arabi, expressed his support to the Kingdom's legal steps taken regarding organising the work mechanism of civil society organisations in a way that parallels the Kingdom's laws and legislations, maintains its security and stability, and preserves its social unity. He also affirmed the Arab League's support to His Majesty the King's reform project and its rejection of any interference in the Kingdom's domestic affairs. The General Secretariat of the Council of Senior Scholars welcomed the judicial steps taken by the Kingdom of Bahrain against any associations and organisations causing sectarianism and factionalism. The General Secretariat affirmed GCC society's unity against any attempts that aim to destabilise its cohesion. It also stressed the importance of overcoming all challenges that target the region's security. Among the many Gargaon festivities which have taken place across the kingdom over the past few days was a major celebration at Bab al Bahrain last night, organised by the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibitions Authority. More in this report from Danielle de Porto.
The iconic Bab al Bahrain Strip provided an impressive setting for the Bahrain Tourism and Exhibition Authority's inaugural public Gargaon celebrations to commemorate the 15th night of Ramadan. Although official figures are not yet in, it seems the event attracted over 1,000 children and their families over the course of several hours.
Mostly we wanted to attract kids, families. That's most of Bahrain Tourism Authority's target market, because we want to involve a lot of families around, a lot of events for the public, a lot of events that include GCC countries that can come and spend the whole weekend here with us and just enjoy it.
In line with Manama's 2016 designation as the Gulf Capital of Tourism, the BTEA's Gargaon Extravaganza was a triumph of traditional festivities.
We're doing a lot of traditional games, as well as we call it a fresa, which is a traditional band, and we're giving away some nuts, some traditional food for the kids, and a little bit prizes for whoever wins the traditional game. One of the most popular game was Shadd al-Habal, which is pulling the rope. Another one is a Dihroi, which is with the wheels and a stick, and they can run over with it. It's part of our traditional games. I'm sure you know it. It's called dominoes. We call it domna.
The BTEA is already ramping up plans for each celebrations and will repeat its Bab al Bahrain Gargaon event next year.
Reporting for Bahrain Television, I'm Danielle de Porto.